Hi everybody, I'm Jessica Nicole Dickerson, aka JND, and welcome back to another video. So today's video is gonna be super chill. Firstly because I got out of the hospital like a couple days ago. If you don't know, follow my Twitter. That was a wild ride. So I'm still feeling low energy, which is fine because I also know right now is a stressful time. By the time I'm uploading this, the election results may or may not be out. I hope you're taking care of yourself first and foremost. If you did your civic duty and you voted, it's out of your hands. You've done your best. Like, you did a good job. You voted. That's amazing. And yeah, the rest are, you know, we have to watch and find out. So please, 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 please take care of yourself. And I know it's also stressful for non-US citizens too, because Trump's just that interesting as a president. Now, politics aside, today's video is going to be my, what month was it? October wrap up. I didn't do a September or an August wrap up because I think I read one book in September and in August, if I recall correctly. I have been in such like a reading slump, and it's interesting because if you've been watching, you're like, Jess, you've had like reading vlogs up, what are you talking about? Yes, I think this month I finally kind of kicked the slump's butt just a little bit. I may fall back into it because I literally haven't read since last Tuesday when I went to the hospital, because obviously I was in the hospital, and I've been sleeping a lot, which has been great, but at the same time not good at reading. So I didn't get to finish all the books that I wanted to, but I did finish a good amount of books that I'm going to talk about. This was a great month because I actually enjoyed a lot of the books that I read, which is so exciting. So I read 4 physical books and like 2 digital books, 2 like audiobooks. But yeah, the first book I read was Kingdom of Back. I had been reading this for a while. I wanted to finish it in September for the Bratz readathon. Didn't do it, but I finished it this month. Like, the first book I finished in October, and it was such a good read. I know now why everyone loves this. So this is a book all about the Mozart siblings. I think Nunnerl is like the nickname for the girl Mozart. So Nunnerl is also really good at composing, but she's always second to her brother because the brother is the career person, whereas she as a woman is thought of as, you're gonna be a future mom, like you don't need to be good at what you do, like it's only exciting if you're a child. When you're a woman, it's not exciting to have a career, you need to be a mom. The feminist notes in this book was so good. I can't recommend this enough because also besides that, like punch to the gut constantly happening throughout the book, the Mozart siblings make up this magical world called the Kingdom of Back. And I think this is based on fact that in their belongings, like historically there was this map, they called it the Kingdom of Back. The kids like made up this magical world, and it's twisted, it's dark and it's twisted, and there's this like dude who's like this magical, I don't want to explain it because it was just so cool, that you don't really know what's real or what's not, and it's like that the whole way through, and this whole magical kingdom is unraveling because also the Kingdom of Back has been like abandoned, and Nunnerl is trying to help, but is she helping? It was a wild ride. I highly recommend this. Those feminist notes, everything. The next book I managed to finish was Running, and I don't remember the author's last name, but it was really cool because as a Cuban American, that's what's up. So this is a story, I forget the main girl's name, but her father is running for president. He was a senator, or is the senator of Florida, and she's put a lot of faith in him, and the family is sacrificing a lot for him to run for president. Their privacy for one, and just judgment, like constantly under fire, and she's kind of tired of it, and her dad is no longer kind of respecting the boundaries. Like at one point he wants a newscast team to come into her room and like record everything, but they don't like her room, so they switch and paint everything and like decorate, and she's like, you're not even showing who I am, you're painting me as this picture of something that I'm not. So she was heated from the beginning. She's like, I don't like what's happening, and she's just starting to rebel against him because he's also a Republican, and we kind of learn things about him like, oh, is he my hero? And it's all about learning to question your adults and your heroes and be like, are you doing the right thing? Are you benefiting me? What's happening? What's going on? and I did really like it. Oh, I didn't say, but Kingdom of Back I gave a 5-star. Running I gave a 4-star. So it's very interesting to see that in a book, because you know, sometimes they'd be saying that everyone's like a hero and everyone cares. It's like, no, sometimes you run for office because you want that power, or you want that paycheck, or you want the title. I don't know. So it's like discussed in the book. Very, very interesting. 4-star. I would recommend it, especially for younger people who are emotionally tired by this election, like the presidential election, because this is something that has been happening forever when it comes to Senate races and things like that, caring about races in general, elections in general, because local elections also, they hold a lot of power. They make a lot of choices for you. So I think it's a great book for younger people to read and learn about their power, because voting and speaking up to those politicians does a lot. It holds them accountable. We people need to hold them accountable, and I just think it's a great lesson for younger people. So check it out for sure. And the next thing I read was a NetGalley comic called Olive, which was really cool. It's about this girl who kind of lives in 2 worlds. It was very short though, which made me so sad. I gave it 4-star. It was really cool. She lives in 2 worlds, so a regular schmegler world and a world she kind of controls. She talks to like a rubber duck, and there's like an ocean and whatever. So she likes the fake world more than the real world, so she doesn't like talking to people. She's very antisocial, and people kind of bully her for it because she's so spacey when she's worried about, you know, dipping into the other world, because she can blink and be gone, but her body will still be in our world. And she's seeing a psychiatrist, and her parents are trying to care for her, and it's just really interesting. And then everything changes when this dude from our world crashes into her world, and I really need the 2nd volume because I want to know what happens next. It was very enticing. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, that was Olive. It was a cute little comic if you're interested in any comics. The next book I read, or the next couple books I read, you will probably know about because I had a reading vlog about it. The next book is The Starless Sea by Morgenstern. I took off the dust jacket. I just think this is way prettier, matches the aesthetic of the book, being that, you know, liking libraries and recording records and creating stories. So I feel like this is much more suiting than the sleeve that I had before. Basically, to explain the story without going too much into detail, this is a world where a boy figures out that Narnia, like a type of Narnia, does exist. There are doors to this other world. There's a door to this other world, and he kind of figures it out by checking out this book in the library and finding himself in it. And then this whole story unravels, and it's really intricate, especially in the beginning, about what's happening. And we're following different storylines of like lovers who are lost, the main guy Zachary figuring out how to get back to Narnia, the place he's always wanted to go to, and like the moon and the Owl King. And there's just this ensemble of cast characters that are really explored throughout, and it's very nifty. I did end up giving this 4 stars, mostly because I love the intricacy of the story, but I feel like Morgenstern really drawed out the ending, and she didn't need to do that, in my personal opinion. I think she could have been hitting us with factoids the whole way, because like the whole book was punching and punching and punching. Every end of every like chapter was so great. And then at some point when we hit the like 370 page mark, it slowed down, and I'm like, you didn't have to do that. You could have just kept hitting us until the very end, you know? I guess the lull before the storm, but I'm like, there has been zero lull in this book. We've been constantly hit with new information. There's not a lot of action, but a lot of new information. So it's like, I wish she kept doing that, because that lull was like, I felt it, and I was like, we don't need this right now. Just give me the ending already. Like, why are you making me wait? That might be me being stubborn. And then the other reason why I didn't totally enjoy this book is that there is a romance between Zachary and another guy. Yay, queer rep. But it's not believable in my opinion, which is hilarious because there are like 2 other couples. I literally said 2 other couples. Wow, Jess. 2 other couples in this book. They got less page time, and I believe their romance way more than Zachary's and what's his face. That's how I feel. You may disagree in the comments, let me know. But definitely just didn't vibe with it. I was just like, you guys love each other? Really? You guys haven't spent much time together. Do you guys like each other because you're both just gay and that's what's convenient and that's what's... And just like, I'm just like, make it make sense, because it just happened so fast and it just felt so ingenuine of like, I think I'm in love with you. And I think when characters start to question, oh, I barely know this person but I feel like I'm in love with them, stop what you're doing, stop writing, and write something better than I think I'm in love with you even though I don't know you. Just don't put that in the book. Just don't do it. But yeah, otherwise this is great. This makes me want to read like A Wrinkle in Time and Narnia. I picked up Narnia because of this. I really want to read more fairy tales, and it just gave me so much nostalgia too. So it was a great read. It was lots of fun. You could tell by all the tabs that I had a great time. Their romance though, I rolled my eyes a couple of times at it. That's the only thing really. I think it could have gone without, to be honest, but yeah. The next book I read was Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This might be a favorite of the year. I was so blown away because I wasn't expecting it to be this good. I was expecting it to be kind of almost culty feeling, like it gives culty vibes. There's these different houses, whatever. Okay, this is a book about a girl named Alex Stern who has had a very misfortunate life. She can see fucking ghosts and it's terrified her whole life, and it's such an issue. And trigger warnings for sexual assault in this. Be fully warned. I like didn't check online reviews and it came across that scene. It was the most disturbing scene I've ever read. So yeah, full transparency on that. Be very cautious going into that if that triggers you. But other than that, this book is, yes, of course, very dark, but it's about Alex Stern's character and how she has been given the second chance to go to Yale University and use her special gift of seeing ghosts for good, to help the Ninth House, which keeps everyone in order. So there's like 8 other big houses that do magical things on Yale's University campus, and the Ninth House watches over, I think it's called the Levy House. They watch over the other houses, make sure they're not doing anything bad, because obviously magic, they might be like killing people for spells or something crazy, so they're just watching over them. Alex's character though makes the story so amazing because Alex is such a morally gray character. She's walking in, she's threatening to kick your teeth in if you don't do what she says, and she's just such a badass. She's literally, she just rolls in a storm. She's constantly attacked and beat up in this book. Like, it's like so funny because then she pops up and she's like, okay, gotta keep going, gotta do the good thing. So morally gray, but also like still heroic and still badass because she's still doing the right thing even though she really shouldn't always be. It was just, her character was so great. I really love that. I really love books with morally great characters because it's like, are you bad? And my camera cut me off because I was babbling. This is definitely a 5-star and I think it's going to be a top read of 2020. We'll see if anything else kicks this off its pedestal, but right now it's like shocking. I had zero expectation going in and I had such a wild ride. I do think you should have zero expectation coming into this book just because I think it's just more fun to learn about the houses and learn about Alex. That was also a really interesting part of the story, is just learning about her because she's such a secretive character. So yeah, I highly recommend, especially with this all dark academia kick. Check it out. Check it out. Hopefully you won't regret it. I hope. We'll see. And the last book I managed to read was The Black Veins by Asia Monet. This book was such a fun ride. I do feel like it read a little bit more like a middle grade. I did give it 3 stars. It was enjoyable. It was fun. It had also a large ensemble cast of characters that I think a lot of people will associate. Like, I can see people playing games of like, which character are you? Because each character was so definitive. The only thing that wasn't too believable, in my opinion, is that each character was so confident in themselves and like they knew who they were and what they liked and their sexuality and everything was super clear. All these kids were like 13 and 14. One of them was like 15 and one of them was 16. So I was like, how are you so confident? Like, when I was 16, I didn't know myself at all, period. Like, I still don't know myself. Like, you feel me? But yeah, so that was the only unbelievable thing in my opinion about how confident they were and how hard they were chasing this one thing that we didn't really know if it was the right thing. That's just my opinion. But the ride and learning about the characters was so much fun. So this is basically a story about a urban fantasy world, so based in our reality, and there's magicians in our reality. And we have our main character, if I remember her name, Blythe. Blythe is a guardian. So in this world there's like 7 guardians. Wow, I forget already. Possibly 8, 7 guardians. So they all hold like, they're very powerful, and they hold one magical element. There's like time and what else, ether. So Blythe is the ether element holder, so she's the guardian of it. All the guardians kind of have to come together to defeat this evil in this book. That's kind of the story. It starts off with Blythe's family getting kidnapped, and she starts this road trip to find the guardians to save the world. That's it. It's very fun. It's very, very, very fun. But definitely go into this thinking more middle grade energy, in the sense of there's also no romance in here, which has nothing to do with middle grade or YA. I also really appreciated that, because we also really push romance on people all the time. But it felt more like an adventure story with really young kids, like 13 and 14-year-olds. So just know that before going in. And I know there's a new cover up of this book, which is so cool. I wish I bought it when that cover was up, because damn, that's so cool. But yeah, I gave it 3 stars, and I recommend if you love adventure stories with a really big cast of characters that are really fun. Also, Asia Monet is like the queen of one-liners. Like all these tabs are just all the one-liners that made me so happy and were so funny. Really good. Okay, that is all I managed to read in the month of October, which is honestly better than recent months, so I'm so happy. Yay. Let me know how your reading's doing. I feel like during the pandemic and election time, at least, there's 2 types of readers. There are the readers who are starting to read a lot more because they're like, I need to escape, I need to get out. And then there are the readers who are like, I'm just gonna watch TV and let my brain melt for a bit. I feel like we're one or the other. Let me know which one you are. And then lastly, I did want to shout out the seasonal pages again. She recently came out with holiday freaking bookmarks. That's so exciting. Oh my god, they're so cute. I will link them down below. If you use the link down below, I get a small commission, but honestly, they're stunning, they're very affordable, and you can support a small Black-owned business. If you want some holiday bookmarks, she also has regular bookmarks on there, and like stickers and a bunch of cute stuff. So definitely check her out. It's so well worth your while, and I think they're also really great holiday presents too for your reader friends. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you want to support me anymore, you can check out my Patreon, which is linked down below. And yeah, I hope this video gave you a little bit more sunshine, and I will see you in the next one.